Ancient interview, Alan Jones. Progress has been slow. What happened back in that house?
Just business.
Business? What kind of business practices result in a house full of mutilated corpses?
I don't like having my time wasted. Someone doesn't pay. They need a lesson. They owed me.
So you killed them, tore up their bodies. The police never found all the pieces.
They should have looked in the sewers.
Are you saying you hid them there?
After a while. Usually takes about 8 hours. Time to go, bro.
And that would be a session with Killer Croc. The last session, as a matter of fact. By the way, now that I'm just now talking here, this is ToadinWonderland, and oops for missing the introduction. This is actually post-commentary right now. What had happened was, the last recording session, which was the previous video, it's still the same session as this one. It ended up going for almost an hour, actually. So this is kind of an experiment in itself to see if it's going to cause any lag after recording this long. We'll see what happens, so at least I'll be able to see myself from this end before actually uploading these videos, what they're going to look like. But what happened was I decided to make this post-commentary because when I saved the first video, I unwittingly deleted the audio file, and yeah, I lost the live commentary for the remaining 45 minutes of this session. Oops. Well, that's why you learn to make sure you're actually done with the files before you delete them. And I know it might be confusing for some of you, but basically my commentary is a separate component than the actual video that I'm recording from my game console. But yeah, just keep in mind that my commentary and the game audio are two separate sounds, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, that's what ended up happening. I accidentally deleted my commentary file before I was actually finished using it, and I lost my live commentary. But right here, we're picking up where Batman had left off. This is actually quite a few days past when I actually did record this. So I know I talked about in the last video about just getting Skyward Sword for the Wii. Yeah, between just getting it and today, I've made a lot of progress between those 2 dates. I'm actually completed up to the 6th dungeon right now on that game. In the Legend of Zelda games, there's certain areas of the game known as dungeons. Yeah, I just finished the 6th one very recently, actually. I'm just debating whether or not it's safe to spoil anything. I mean, the game has been out long enough, but I don't know that I'm going to go too much into the story. Maybe a future video I'll talk more about it, but as far as what I think about the game, pure fierceness. I mean, this is a really great Zelda game. I've loved what they did with it, and I especially love the art style. Like, it's the Impressionism, and a lot of people compare it by saying it's the GameCube Wind Waker graphics combined with Twilight Princess's graphics. And by the way, I had to make a cut here because I ended up taking like 5 minutes and nothing happened at all. I only took out 2 henchmen, and it was like 5 minutes later till something actually happened. And there I used the upgrade I just got for the explosive gel. I put auto detect or not auto detect, I'm sorry. I forget what it's called, but it's the upgrade that allows you to explode a specific explosive gel point instead of all of them exploding at once. It lets you control which ones to explode and which ones you don't want to explode. And this is a cool move that you can do here. You can use the bat claw and pull them right under their feet, and they don't even know that you did it. Of course, they'd only have a split second to realize what happened there. That's what makes it great, though. And I just barely avoided detection from that henchman there. I don't know how I was able to get out of his sight, because it took me a while to take that grate off. I thought for sure he would have seen me. But anyway, back to Skyward Sword. As I said, it's a really great game. If you're new to The Legend of Zelda, in terms of difficulty, I would say this game is slightly harder than most other Zelda games. And that's not a bad thing. But like, if you compare it to Twilight Princess, I would definitely say Twilight Princess is easier than this one. But, like, even the first dungeon, the first dungeon is actually exceptionally hard in my opinion. It's legitimately difficult. I actually died twice in that dungeon. Lol. But, what happened was, the first, enemy that I encountered in there, or, I'm sorry, the first new enemy, is a Skulltula. The Skulltulas on, Skyward Sword are pretty tricky to defeat. Another concept that comes with the game is the way that you use the sword. Depending on how you swing it with the Wii Remote, and you also need the Wii Motion Plus peripheral as well, unless it's already built inside the remote, like my golden one was. It came with the bundle I bought. But the way you swing the sword affects the gameplay as well. And the Skulltulas are like spider-like enemies, and they're kind of tricky to defeat because they only have like one spot on their body, and you gotta reveal it using the sword to your advantage, and you have to do it just right in order to expose their weak point. By the way, here's a Chronicle of Arkham.
I watched in silence as he brought in the woman. Her skin now a venomous green. The wanton creature no longer looked like a human being, much less a woman. The Bible says, "Suffer not a witch to live." Yet he has once again delivered this female atrocity to our care. Once I have dealt with the monster, I think it will be time to see if green wood does, in fact, burn.
Based on his description of that, I'm thinking he might have been talking about poison ivy there. That's just my speculation, though. But it sounded like it was heading that direction. Oh, but anyway, with the Skyward Sword, yeah, I died with the Skulltula enemy. The first time I encountered it, my goodness, I had the hardest time just figuring out. Well, I think I knew what to do. It was just figuring out how to expose its weak point, and I had a lot of trouble doing that at first. And the other time I died was the room right before you encounter the boss. I kept falling off of the tightrope, and I typically wouldn't have died, but at that point of the game, I only had like 2 hearts, and when you fall off like that, yeah. Plus, I was being hit by an enemy as I was crossing the tightrope. But it's the first dungeon of that game, and it was right before the first boss. I was actually at the boss door. But yeah, if you're new to the Zelda game, just be prepared for that challenge, because it's a pretty tricky first dungeon. It gets hard from the get-go. So, I mean, I'm not saying that to warn you, like, stay away from the game. Absolutely not. I mean, definitely play it. I'm just saying, don't expect it to be easy. Zelda games are meant to be taxing on your brain, because it does have some puzzle elements involved. But that's what makes them fun, too. So, you know, it's somewhat of a double-edged sword depending on what kind of a game player, to be more specific, you are. And it's just a matter of personal taste, whether you like action-adventure games. Well, that's pretty much what The Legend of Zelda is. A good bit of action and adventure combined. It also combines some RPG and puzzle elements, though, as I've said. And I only say RPG just because of, like, health and combat systems. Like, it's not turn-based or anything, but there's definitely some elements involved. And even just, like, the dungeon concept. Like, in the overworld and then the dungeon, then back to the overworld. It kind of functions in the same way as a typical RPG would be like. And I realize I'm not really talking much about this game here. Oh yeah, I actually did not... Well, you actually can't get all the riddles on your second trip to the caves. You do have to come back yet again in order to be able to find everything. But I'm thinking of something. I never did find the Riddler's Secrets map for the caves area. I either bypassed it or don't remember where it is. And I'm even thinking right now, I can't even remember where it is in the caves, actually. That's sad. I should know that. But yeah, I didn't pick that item up yet. And I really should have. And we do have an interview tape here. I believe this is the last one for Killer Croc.
Patient interview. Waylon Jones, a.k.a. Killer Croc. Last night, the patient was pacified after a breakout attempt. Aaron Cash is in hospital. Reports state that the patient attacked Cash and in the struggle consumed his left hand. Cash is lucky to be alive. He lost a lot of blood.
Me too. I nearly choked on that bony hand of his.
That's disgusting. He could have died.
He's just food to me. And once I get a taste, I want the rest of the meal. You know what I mean.
Get him out of here. Now.
Got your scent too, lady. I'll see you around. Tick tock, tick tock.
Well, it's pretty clear to me that someone loves Peter Pan. Because of the reference, he said, tick tock, here comes the crocodile. Yeah, that's from Peter Pan. FYI. I think that's well established, though. A lot of people know Disney pretty well. Yeah, we do have like a mini skirmish here. It started good here, but I remember I was starting to suck badly, though. Yeah, here comes the suckiness. I just kept getting hit like you wouldn't believe. Seems like these enemies had a bit more stamina too. So that wasn't good. But yeah, like that easily could have been countered, and I didn't hit the counter button for some reason. That time I did. Okay, yeah, the battle turns for the better here. And the synopsis was that Joker had put toxin formula in the water supply of Gotham, and that's why it, like the Joker, he likes the color green, and that's exactly the color the water had become. Batman had shut the first water pump in the other room, and the other two are actually in the same room. They're both right here, as a matter of fact. And it's right there. So that wasn't hard at all, actually. If you can find the right diodes, I guess you could say, for the panel. There we go. I never had that much trouble with the cryptographic sequencer, in all honesty. I usually get them pretty good. I should have considered getting the upgrade, and I never did, actually. And it looked like there was a little bit of lag there. I'm seeing that right now. Oh. Now it's back to normal. I don't know if that's going to show when I actually put the video up or not, but I do notice it here on my end as I'm re-recording my commentary here. Yeah, it's back to normal now. It was... The audio was going faster than the video for a few seconds there. Hopefully that doesn't continue on. But, it's just the fact that this is a PS3 game, and the current setup I have is just for like a standard definition recording, basically. If I had some that supported HDMI, I definitely would use that, but you're looking to pay big bucks there when you get that kind of recording set up. The best always costs a lot. And right here are the last few Joker teeth that are left in the caves, appropriately placed in a Joker present.